the director of the Blockchain Advisory. These guys specialize in the technical and legal advisory, and they are today talking about the Maltese regulatory framework. So please take it away, Anton.
Thank you, Tibi. So basically, as Tibi mentioned, we are a consultancy firm based in Malta, which specializes on Maltese law and technical and legal advisory in relation to the regulatory framework that was introduced in Malta. Basically, I would imagine most of you who are already in the industry would already be familiar and know that last year Malta introduced a holistic framework that regulates the DLT and cryptocurrency industry. This regulatory framework is the responsibility of different authorities in Malta, with the main and lead authority being the Malta Financial Services Authority, which is the authority responsible for the fintech side of things, so receiving applications from the industry and approving such applications. There is also the introduction of a new certifying authority, which is called the Malta Digital Innovations Authority, which takes care of the technical aspects of the industry. I will be explaining what the remit of the MDIAL is in the following slides. There is also the Malta Gaming Authority. Malta is quite big in the remote gaming industry, one of the top jurisdictions in the world, in fact. And currently there is a sandbox for gaming companies operating outside or in Malta that want to either accept cryptocurrencies from their player base or else want to implement the technology in the gaming platform. So you have a gaming platform that utilizes DLT technology. The regulatory framework aims to be a holistic framework for those wishing to carry out an ICO from Malta, or even STOs, which are becoming more popular these days, or those that wish to provide a service, it's called the VFA service, from Malta, including cryptocurrency exchanges, cryptocurrency funds, and platforms. The regulatory framework consists of three main acts. One is the Virtual Financial Assets Act. The second is the Malta Digital Innovation Act. And the third one is the Innovation, Technology and Services Act. The first act, the main one, which regulates the way that companies are licensed in Malta, is the Virtual Financial Assets Act. This act regulates the way that ICOs are carried out from Malta. It also regulates how VFA service providers are licensed in Malta, such as cryptocurrency exchanges, those wishing to do a brokerage service in Malta, anybody who wishes to give financial advice to the industry in relation to crypto assets, and it became effective on the 1st November of 2018. So it's quite a new law in Malta. An important feature of the VFA Act is the introduction of the Financial Instruments Test. The aim of the Financial Instruments Test is to provide a deterministic classification of any token that is issued. So once someone runs the test on any token, one can get one of these following classifications: either a financial instrument, or an electronic money, VFA, which are virtual financial assets, or virtual tokens. I will be explaining each one of these in the following slides. So, the first classification is financial instruments. Financial instruments, or as the industry knows them, security tokens, are already regulated by MiFID II in the EU and the Investment Services Act in Malta. When one wants to do an offering of a financial instrument to the public, one needs to usually prepare what is called the prospectus document. The structure is obviously much more rigid than when one issues a white paper for a utility token, and such tokens can only be listed on the traditional security exchanges. So obviously a security token cannot be listed on a crypto exchange as well. Unfortunately, we still are missing a link between the traditional regime and the technology itself. For example, the requirement of a CSD or Central Securities Depository in the traditional regime goes obviously against the way that traditional tokens are traded. Let's say, for example, I can trade a token peer-to-peer. I can sell my tokens directly to you. The traditional regime does not allow that because there is the requirement of a Central Securities Depository. In fact, the MFSA is currently working on guidelines on how to go about doing an STO out of Malta. Then we have virtual tokens. These tokens are simply tokens that can only be utilized on the platform that they were issued on. So basically, they cannot be traded on secondary exchanges. So if a token will be issued on a cryptocurrency exchange, will be traded on a cryptocurrency exchange, then it cannot be classified as a virtual token. Furthermore, one has to look at the technical implementation of the token standard. So if a token can be converted from one type of token to another, that means that when you are doing the financial instruments test, you need to understand what type of token it can be converted into, because that might change the classification of such token. As you might imagine, very few tokens out there actually qualify to be called virtual tokens. An example of a virtual token would be a token that is used in a scheme wherein you are awarded points for buying goods and services on a platform, such as a loyalty points, and those loyalty points can only be exchanged for goods and services on that platform. Then we have what are called virtual financial assets under Maltese law. So basically, virtual financial assets are all those tokens that are not classified either as electronic money, neither as financial instruments, nor virtual tokens. So if you run the test and the token does not qualify as one of the preceding categories, then it is a virtual financial asset. A virtual financial asset is regulated under Maltese law, under the VFA Act. Most tokens out there, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Waves, etc., would qualify as virtual financial assets under Maltese law. The VFA Act also introduces the licensing of VFA service providers. VFA service providers can provide various services to the industry, including the reception and transmission of orders, execution of orders on behalf of your clients, portfolio management, the provision of investment advice, placing of VFA on exchanges, and operating a VFA exchange. When we're saying operating a VFA exchange here, we're meaning a cryptocurrency exchange, because crypto in Malta, the word crypto does not actually exist, but we refer to these as virtual financial assets. We mentioned the classification of tokens, but when is one required to run the financial instrument test? When one must classify the token category? There are three instances when one must classify a token under Maltese law. First of all, when an issuer wishes to do what is called an IVFAO. An IVFAO is a fancy term for ICO under Maltese law, which is initial virtual financial asset offering. And that is why we use the short form for that. That is one instance. The second instance is you have a virtual financial asset and you want to list it for trading on an exchange. And the third category, the third reason for doing the financial instruments test is if every FA service provider, such as a cryptocurrency